Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to another shiny hunting live stream. We are, of course, shiny hunting in ZA. I'm gonna talk briefly before we actually get started about what happened yesterday. So the Mewtwo event happened yesterday, and I already did it. As you can see. I don't even know how well this guy is. This guy's fine, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we do. I'm kind of thinking of boosting him, but we'll see. We'll see what we do. We'll see how long that takes. But yes, that was something that happened yesterday. And I also happened to get a freaking shiny Lucario, which I did name Miku because of the freaking new the new freaking Mega Evolution. I cannot believe that it looks like Miku. It's insane. Just yeah, make a Lucario look like Hatsune Miku. That's just so freaking stupid. I love it. But yeah, we got her yesterday, and we will probably be using her as once we get the actual Mega Stone. I am planning to off stream level up some Pokemon. We might do some of that on stream, but most of it's probably going to be off stream. But yeah, we are primarily going to be shiny hunting in Area 20 today, primarily because I really want to get the starters. And at this point in time, the only starters I have that are shiny are obviously the guys that you can get in the Kalos starters. I still need to get 2 more Fennekin and 2 more Froakie, but those are not that big of a deal. And we do have we have 2 Chikoritas now, actually. So we still need 1 more Chikorita. And then we need all of the water starters and both of the fire starters. We have not gotten a single one. This guy is shiny, yes, but we're not worrying about him right now. Primarily because of the fact that they don't affect anything. That is basically just boosting the by having that remain there. It's basically boosting the odds of all of the other spots around here to be shiny, rather than it being one of the freaking guys, one of the alphas. So hopefully we can get one of these guys, specifically the for example, this area here, this quadrant, we need everything but female Hippowdon to be shiny. I do still want to get 1 more Lucario for so that I'll have 2 megas. And then obviously we need the starters, which we need 3 of each starter, which is insane. And then the water stuff over here, we also need stuff. So, yeah. So hopefully it won't take too long. Most likely, Area 5, specifically this corner, which does have a freaking Venipede in it, that's re-rolling every time. So there's a chance that we have a Venipede there. There's also a chance that we have a Weedle. But everything else shouldn't be possible to respawn, so everything else we should be seeing here. Whether or not it's shiny. So that's good. But yeah, like I said, we're primarily going to be hunting here in 20. We might move over to 8 at some point, primarily because Gible, we need 2 Garchomps. which is kind of concerning. That we need that we're gonna need 2 shiny Garchomps at some point. So if you sorry about that. If you didn't know already, there is a leak out and about that has like a list of a whole bunch of different shinies. I think it's just this guy, right? Yeah, it's just the one guy. That's fine. There is a leak with all of the different shinies that are available. I'm gonna boost up the Pokemon sound. There we go. But yes, there is a leak with several of the different reveals. It does mean that we will probably be shiny hunting for a while. I'm hoping that we can get a shiny Alpha Absol as well. Because we have one shiny Absol, and it's just a regular one. Where are you? Yeah, right here. Yeah, he's ready to go. I'm thinking we will wait on actually trying to get anything else for them until afterwards. But yeah. So, actually thinking about it, I think when it comes to the shinies that we are, of all of the Pokemon that we're spawning in, I think right now we are technically spawning in every single one of these guys. I don't think that we will be able to go over 10, except for maybe with those two. But of the ones that we can see, I don't think we're able to go over 10. And considering the fact that I'm probably going to catch any of the water and fire types before, as soon as I spot them, I don't think we need to worry too much about them. But yeah. I mean, it won't hurt anything if we catch it, but it won't. You know what? Yeah, we'll catch the Alpha really quick because it's kind of driving me crazy. Let's see here. Turn around. Oh, for fuck's sake. Get in the hotel. Okay. We run. Run for the exit, run for the exit, run for the exit. And get out of here. Let them return back to their spawns. And then we teleport. Alright. Hopefully that didn't reset any spawns. Could you not be spotting me? Okay, but yeah, they're all here, so that's fine. Case in point, why we don't really need to worry about any of these guys. I think one of the water type starters is just out of range, so that's kind of annoying. Go back. Thank you. Fully despawn. Okay. fine. That's the other reason why we don't really necessarily want to catch this guy, is because, like, all of these guys detect you pretty much simultaneously. I would hear the shiny sparkles if the Glaceon was shiny, I think. Glaceon is so frickin' challenging to tell if it's shiny. If you haven't seen how bad it is, like, even like, you could check on the frickin' website. I have watched a few videos of people, like, catching shiny Glaceon, and I'm just like, how are you able to tell the difference? Legitimately? But yeah. Also, I might as well mention, the closest one of these water spawns can never be a frickin' whatchamacallit. It can never be a starter. It's kind of insane the way that the spawns work. Here in 20, because pretty much every spawn on in these 3 quadrants can be a starter, except for that one. Except for where that closer Malamar is. That one can only be either a Malamar or Dragalge. It can never be a starter, and it drives me crazy. Like all the others, it could be either of them. Okay, we're gonna try once again. I think we have enough distance from the rest. Okay, good. We connected it. Let's try again. Yes, get closer. You and Metagross need to turn around. No, no. Yes, good. Alright, we got the shiny Simipour. And that went to the right box, right? Yes, good. Okay. So now we just need the fire. We just need Semisear and Pansear, which is actually pretty good. I think that Pansage and Simisage are actually more common. So, because I think I have 2. There's that Pansage. Yeah. So I have 2 Pansages, 1 Panpour, 1 Simisage, and now 1 Simipour. Not a single Simisear or Pansear. I do not know why they are considerably the rarer. I think it's mostly because of the fact that every spawn that can be any of them can be any of them. I don't think a single spot can be just one of them. I don't think there's a single spot that can be, oh yeah, it's only Simisage, or it's only Pansage, it's only Panpour, it's only Pansear. Because the semis only spawn here, so yeah. What would be really interesting is if that could be, if we get a shiny alpha Lucario. What would be interesting is if it was also female. Because female Lucario is actually rare, which is kind of fun. So, like that Lucario, that really doesn't matter comparatively, because that one will always be. Well, I mean, that could be any of those Pokemon. So, I think it's like 60. So. Nope, no shinies. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, the rule is going to be that if any of the water ones or any of the these guys are shiny, we're going to reset them. But yeah. And catch them. That's not lighter, is it? I don't think it is. It's so freaking subtle. I cannot tell the difference between shiny Glaceon and regular Glaceon. I've even, like I said, I've seen a video where someone was actually caught a Glaceon, and I'm like, wait, there's a difference? How did you know that, though? How did you spot the difference? It's almost as bad as Garchomp. Except Garchomp got easier. I think it's worth mentioning that if this wild area spawns, we're switching to Gible hunting. But yeah, welcome to the chaos. Bum 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 bum. Okay. Okay. Nope. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I think in a little bit we're gonna go check the bugs, see if they've shined. Because there is a pretty high chance that they will. I don't know. I hate the stupid bugs. Well, we might as well just leave the bugs. Even if they do. We have all of them. We have a triple. For both. Not yellow. Not yellow. Ba 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 da ba do you. One sec. Realizing I did not do that. Pokemon Legends CA. There we go. Now it's saved. Okay. Nope. 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 Alright. I don't think that guy is shiny. That's fine. Alright. Do 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 do. Charmander, you're supposed to be yellow. And Hippowdon, you're supposed to be green. Each of you have your own color, so I'm not going to say them. You're supposed to have a green shell, Squirtle. Bum ba-dum ba-dum bum. Do 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 do. Do do do. Okay. So while we are hunting for this, for these guys, I think it's worth talking a little bit about the DLC, because this is going to be the last Pokemon stream before the DLC launches, which is exciting. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the DLC. So I think the biggest thing that is kind of a question that people, that at least I have, is how exactly are the donuts going to work? From what I am gathering immediately, is that the hyperspace wild zones appear to only have 3 Pokemon maximum. It's not going to be any more, it's not going to be any less. To me, that is basically saying that it is most, well, maybe not. I don't know. Or no, maybe that is the minimum. The small hyperspace wild zone is probably only going to have 3. The larger ones might have more, because they specifically say in the image that we see of the information about this that we do have a small hyperspace wild zone detected, and that was the one that had Galarian Meowth, Honedge, and I think Beldum. Which, cool. Those are going to be a lot of fun to hunt, and it does mean that Beldum is going to be easier to hunt. To me, that is also saying that most likely, all of the frickin' pseudo legends might also become easier to hunt, which they're rare anyways, so that's probably a good thing. So that's one thing. The exact levels we don't really know. I think the standard berry donuts, which we don't really know exactly how that's going to work. But look, ones that don't have any stars, to me, it looks like they are going to be pretty standard. Just here's a few calories, which gives you survey time, and here's a few boosted levels, and that's it. And then obviously you'll need to work around how you handle getting your levels up, how you handle getting your survey time up, which is going to be related to calories. But another thing that we've seen from the images is that the donuts that we have seen don't have any flavor powers. Now, to me, that sounds like it's something that we should probably that we can assume that they are going to have some special power. Maybe I think it's one of a few things. One is there is alpha chance. There is shiny chance, and possibly a type enhancement chance. If that is actually the case, then cool. But I also don't think that it's... I think that if they're going to cut anything from it, they are probably going to cut type chance. Because based on what I'm seeing currently, it appears that the hyperspace zones might specifically be always a specific type. Because all of the Pokemon in that first wild zone that we see, hyperspace wild zone that we see, are steel types. So, yeah. Alright, so that is that. We are still going to keep coming here for now. But yeah. I don't know, it's really hard to say. Based on what I can see, I do not think that you'll be able to tell what the flavor power is until you have the physical donut. So, Ansha will make the donut. And basically, by improving the different flavors, so spicy, sour, fresh, bitter, and sweet, the more you lean towards one of those flavors, or possibly two of those flavors, probably the more likely you will be to get a certain ability. Very similar to how the Herba Mystica worked in Scarlet and Violet. And each one will determine what the power is going to be. In terms of the score, my guess as to what that's going to be is that by boosting the flavor score, boosts whatever the power is that you are specifically getting from your sour, sweet, blah, 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 blah. From the flavor profile. If you get to maximum for, like, let's say for an example, maybe like one of them basically equates to shiny chance. You boost the shiny you boost one of them, you boost it to a point where it's perfect. Maybe you get maybe not guaranteed shinies, but it significantly boosts the shiny chance. Like which I don't think that they're going to give us like a definitive answer to that. But that is probably going to be the main way that people are going to be shiny hunting once the DLC unlocks, is my guess. Especially since some of these Pokemon are only going to be accessible through this. Now, I think it's also worth questioning how do we think the wild zones are going to work. Based on what I'm seeing, I think that it's a reasonable assumption to make that depending on that some of the wild zones are probably temporary ones. Probably like, oh, they're only here for the story, so on and so forth. However, I think that there is a good chance that some of them will be permanent ones. And those will be spots where probably the newest Pokemon will just be way more common to spawn there. Maybe it's something that you're not able to fully close it or something like that. I also think that any hyperspace wormhole that is going to have a legendary is probably only a temporary one until you catch the... it's basically going to stay there until you catch the legendary. I think that makes the most sense to me when it comes to how the donuts work. We don't really know much about how the legendary donuts are going to work. We just know that for sure... which ones were? Groudon and Kyogre. Those are the only ones that we know for a fact they are getting donuts. I think that there is a reasonable chance that we will be seeing a donut for Rayquaza. I think that there is a good chance that we will see a donut for each of the Lotties. And probably Zeraora. But Zeraora might be a part of the story. Same thing goes for Magearna. I feel like Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre, just due to the fact that they are kind of special, and they're I don't think that they're gonna and they have their own games. They're probably not gonna actually have them be super important. For how the shinies are going to work. Or, not for the shinies. For the story. Also because of the fact that, Groudon and Kyogre, the way they work, is similar, but also different from the way that the Megas work. Like, you still have to hold an item. I think that's an important detail that we should remember for this. You still need to hold an item for them, because it's basically they all hold the stone and then they immediately... The difference between Primal Reversion and Mega Evolution is that they're automatic. I think they were automatically changed into Primal versions. Which is fine. But yeah. I think that there is a reasonable assumption to make that many of the legendaries, even if they don't have a Mega Evolution, are most likely going to only be obtainable through the donuts. Based on the leaks and how there's actually several legendaries that are supposedly getting Mega Evolutions. It does lead me to believe that most of those are probably going to be only through the donuts. Probably like side quest things. I think if they're going to make any of them one that you actually have to do, it's probably going to be Zeraora. Because they've already revealed Zeraora. Um, but I also think that Zeraora, as well, honestly, probably Zeraora and Lucario are probably going to be pretty late Mega Evolutions that we're going to get. I think there is a possibility of Lucario being sooner, but I also don't think that you're going to be able to catch it, or you're not going to be able to use it early. It's possible that you'll see frickin' Karina using Mega Lucario Z pretty early. I don't know exactly how they're going to handle it, but I think that there's a decent chance that that's going to be pretty early. And then the Mega... yeah. If you get it, cool. But based on what we saw when it came to these, to the current ones, let's see, which ones did we get revealed? So we got Victory Bell revealed, and that was early. So I think that to me that's basically hinting that Chingling is probably going to be really early. And then frickin' Malamar, and who was the other one that got revealed early before the game started? Let me go to Pokemon. I think that gave us the information. Hawlucha and Dragonite. So Hawlucha was kind of midway through. And then Dragonite and Victory Bell, or not Victory Bell, Dragonite and Malamar were really late. So to me, that's kind of hinting that Chingling is probably going to be pretty early. Maybe the Raichus. The Raichus might be the first. I think that there's a good chance that the Raichus will be probably pretty freaking early, is my guess. And my guess, though, as to how the Raichus are going to work is that you will most likely catch, or you will most likely get to choose one Raichu, like, right at the beginning. And the other Raichu will most likely be something that you get later. So, to me, I'm thinking, when you first meet Karina, where is my freaking mouse? There it is. It's just disappearing on this freaking page. So my guess is that right at the beginning of the game, right at the beginning of the DLC, we're going to meet Ansha and we're going to meet Karina. And the way that that's going to work, that's a shiny, I think, isn't it? Or am I wrong? It's a shiny Hippowdon male. Frickin' yes. I don't know how I was able to tell that. I really don't. That is so subtle of a difference. That is so subtle. I think it's like ever so slightly lighter. That was insane. That was actually kind of insane. So, I guess I don't need Hippowdon anymore. Unfortunately, it's probably gonna be the Hippowdon. I'm probably gonna get another Hippowdon. Hippowdons are so freaking common, it's insane. I'm pretty sure, though, I will probably have both Lucarios and both, and obviously we just got Hippowdon. So we will probably get a Lucario before one of the starters shines. On the bright side, we don't have to check we only have to check this one before we move on for a little bit, at least until. But yeah. I'm also one thing that I'm also kind of thinking is that they should probably give us a way to get to hunt starters. I'm kind of I'm thinking of one of a few things for what they might do when it comes to the starters. If they're gonna do, if they are gonna put the allow you to hunt the starters in the DLC. This is a new day dawning, so I'm just gonna wait. If they're gonna add that, I think it will probably be a 3-er. There will probably be like 3 3-ers, 3 Pokemon, 3 Pokemon Wild Zones. And in those specific Wild Zones, you'll be able to get the fire. One will have the fire starters, one will have the grass starters, and one will have the water starters. Is my guess, and I do not expect them to. Yeah. I don't expect them to give us an easy way to hunt them. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how well it's gonna go. Because like, I'm thinking about specifically like Fennekin and well, Fennekin and Froakie are fairly easy to hunt. Because they're always there. So if you get a shiny of them, great, fantastic. You can easily, it's not necessarily like the easiest frickin' thing to hunt, but it's easier than some things. But when it comes to the starters here in Area 20, as well as Chespin, they're not guaranteed spots. And I don't know. I think it's an odd thing. It's very odd to me the way that they handle it. Oh, Charmander's already respawned. Good. That's the nice thing about the outer rings of Area 20, is that they do respawn relatively fast. Obviously, when it comes to the alphas here, they take a while. Where's... Didn't do that. Let me think here for a sec. But, yeah. I think I already went over, I went over in a previous live stream, I think, about the Karina Megastones, because she has a lot on her. And every single one of them is one that is currently in the game. So, yeah. I didn't see Latios or Latias. I didn't see Rayquaza, which I highly doubt. That's the other thing. I do not think Rayquaza is going to be accessible until after you get both Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. And that is probably both, all three of them are post-game DLC stuff. Oh, subtle shinies, why do you have to be such a pain? I actually think it's funny with the fire starters specifically. They're like the most subtle shinies of the group. But, you know. Alright. Alright. I think we're gonna stop shiny hunting the I think we're gonna stop hunting in this area in a sec here. I think I'm gonna check. I think I'm gonna just keep checking until the next time switch, and then we'll go shiny hunt somewhere else. Bum, 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 bum. Wait, you're not, right? Am I insane? I am insane. Good, thank you. I was like, if you're gonna be another freaking shiny Powdon, I'm gonna be pissed. You are supposed to be yellow. As are you. Wait, what the fuck? Oh. That's what happened there. That's fine. So, I think another thing that is just immediately coming to mind is that to me, I'm kind of thinking there will be a few different ways that the hyperspace wormholes will work. And I think that there's going to be 3 sizes. Primarily because of the fact that we know that... Okay. So based on the image that we have, we know that there is hyperspace wild zones, and based on the video, we know that there's also hyperspace battle zones. I'm not certain exactly how it's going to function, but to me, the way that I'm guessing is that there's the small zones. There's three sizes of zones, most likely. There's the small zone. There's the medium zone, and then there's the large zone. My guess as to the number of Pokemon is that it's probably... Smalls will probably have 3 Pokemon at max. Maybe 4? Because there is a good amount of space there. There's enough space in the current in the page for it to be 4, but it also seems like there could just be 3 each. Medium zones, I could see them going up to 6 or 8, depending on what it is. And then large zones could be, I want to say 9 or 12. think it's a bit that seems extreme though, and I don't think that they're going to do like a freaking massive amount. Even if they do decide that they are going to do a decent amount, I don't know. Something about that just tells me. And I'm thinking when it comes to the battle zones, is that there's probably like a certain number of trainers that we're going to be facing, depending on the size that you get. And I'm also thinking that very few of the hyperspace wild zones are going to be permanent. Same thing goes for the battle zones. I think that there is a good chance that they will have like specific spots that they will be. And then my guess is that, like, once you finish the story of it, maybe like one or two, maybe maybe up to 5. Let's say 5. Let's say that there's going to be 5 that are going to be permanent wild zones that are just going to be there. Maybe it could be more, it could be less. And you'll be able to go into those whenever you want when it comes to the hyperspace wild zones. You will still need to use your donuts, blah, 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 in order to get into them and do your survey time. But I think I think we're on the right track towards what it's going to be. It's also, I think it's a reasonable assumption to make that there could be new wild zones, like just standard wild zones with the DLC. I don't think that it's highly likely, but I think that there's a reasonable assumption that we can make there. I think the biggest problem when it comes to the DLC is just that we don't know really anything when it comes to any of the information. They've been very, very quiet. I think that there's also a decent possibility that we'll be battling trainers from the original X and Y games, because I know a lot of people, myself included, want to see several of the old trainers, even if it's not necessarily going to be something that you fight them. But some of those major trainers that we fought in the original games, I'd like to see them again. I don't think we're going to see Lysander again, just because of the fact that he appears to be gone. I also think that there is a decent possibility that there are multiple characters that are going to be named characters that are going to be important, that we have yet to see. Whether they are trainers that we have met before, or they are older, or they're completely new trainers, I think that we're going to see some of them. I think there's a possibility that we see Clement, we see Bonnie. I think that there is a reasonable possibility that we see Sycamore. Personally, I'd like to see your old rivals. Obviously, Serena and Callum can stay out of it. I think that they don't need to show up. Just because of the fact that if Serena or Callum show up, it's basically confirming that that one of them was the canon protagonist. I mean, I guess they could do something with that where they're not. I don't know. Um, what I think could be an interesting idea, and I don't think they're gonna do this, but what they might do is that they have Serena and Callum, but they're not wearing their hats. And they're wearing their same outfits, blah 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 blah. So technically, you're not really certain which one you were, and then you can choose to battle them. And they have they could have the exact same team, or they could have two different teams. One could be the canonical rival battle. The last rival battle that you have, they have the same team that they had. Something along the lines of just various different Pokemon that you could have used. Oh shit. Oh shit. I lost connection. Oh no. Okay, I think we're back. Did we fully disconnect, or are we back? I think we're okay. Okay, I think we're okay. All right, I completely lost internet for a sec there, so that's fine. I don't know how much, if anything got lost or what. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, my thinking is that they would just be Serena and Callum. I think that there's a decent possibility that we could rename them, but I don't think it's going to be extremely likely. Okay. I'm just double checking things. Sorry. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. But yeah. I don't know. I could see the Latios and Latios being pretty quick to get there as like just a random extra side mission. But I could also because and pretty early actually. But yeah, I do think that there's a decent possibility that we're going to get some side missions. And various different ones. Possible? I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, I don't know. I think... I don't know. I'm thinking about like all of the different major NPCs. I think it's worth expecting that there be some connection between Diantha and Ansha. They just look way too similar. Okay. I think we should check the bugs. We're gonna just check the bugs really quick. Bugs are not... that bug's not shiny. Let's check here. Oops, didn't mean to go into the sewers. What am I thinking? I meant to go the other way because this is the fastest way into Area 5. check to see if the bugs might have gotten shiny. Nope, the bugs are not shiny. We'll just quickly double check. I don't think that any of the guys up there can be shiny from doing the teleport spam. Case in point. Case in point. Okay, so we have not gotten any extra shinies while we've been hunting here, so that's fine. Alright, I think at the second notification, I'm going to quickly run around the, well, I might run around a few times around the frickin' thing, just to see what happens. See if maybe we can get something shine. Because there is there's a decent, since I'm not checking them too often, there is a minuscule chance that these guys over here are shiny. Not you. There we go. So, yeah. Wait, what the frick? Okay. Oh, look at it. An Alpha Hippowdon. How nice. But yeah, seriously, Hippowdon is such a pain. Why are you not yellow? Same goes for you. You're supposed to be yellow. Wait a minute. Alright. Save really quick. Alright. Shiny Alpha Phalanx. Woo! Let's see, how close are you now? Closer? A little bit. Okay, both of you need to turn around. Thank you. Nice. I think that might be my second alpha of those guys. Let me double check. That one's an alpha. I know my main one is not an alpha, but I think this one's my main. Little Bros is not an alpha. Are you an alpha? No. Okay. So that is my first alpha shiny Phalanx. Then, unless I got one recently, I don't think I did. So that's 3 so far. Technically only 2 though, because this guy doesn't count, because he spawned before we actually started resetting. I'm actually kind of surprised. is bizarre. That is bizarre luck. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Okay. All right. Let's teleport and then we'll run around the entire place really quick and then we'll see what happens. All right. New. New. Nope. 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 Okay. All right. He is bugging me. Oh, that's just my phone. Okay. All right. I think one more teleport and then we'll just stick in the corner and see what happens. If anyone gets shiny, great. If no one gets shiny, then we'll go to a different area, I think. You're not shiny. No shinies, no shinies. No shinies. I think. Okay. Alright. Well, we've gotten 3-ish, kind of 2-ish. But yeah, we'll go to a different area after this. You're not shiny, right? I cannot tell what the difference is. Okay, you're definitely not shiny. I don't think that either of those guys are, because I think that it's a pretty significant orange for orangish look when it comes to Flareon. Okay. Just quadruple check. Is there any really good hunt that we can do? Is the question. Okay. We should probably do 19 actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Because we need EVs, we need Furfros, and we need the Clefairy line. Because currently we have 2 Alpha Clefables. We do not have a single Cleffa or Clefairy. So I think we'll do 19 for now. But we do need 8. We do significantly need 8. Okay. You know what, we're just gonna teleport to 8 for a few minutes. This is why I don't want it. I don't like shiny hunting now. But yeah, if, and this is a big if frickin' Garchomp is actually getting a new Mega, which it is rumored to be getting, then for sure it needs yeah, it needs to be something that it needs to be more common, which kind of based on what I'm seeing, I think that they are going to boost a lot of the rarer Pokemon. Honedge is pretty rare, all things considered. Even though it's like one of the Honedge and Beldum are actually like two of the easiest Pokemon to shiny hunt. If you know the trick. Are they a pain? Yes. Yes, they are. But they're also like the easiest ones to shiny hunt. At least in that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if saying that specific area is necessarily accurate. Because, yeah. And I don't think any of these guys are shiny. Boo. Okay. You know, I am going to step away for a sec. So we're going to go back to Area 20. And we're going to set up a bench reset. Alright. Okay. So, yeah. Sure that we're actually doing this properly really quick, and then we will see what happens. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna be right back, and then we will go ahead and continue this to shiny hunt. All right, and I am back. Kind of. Alright, now I'm officially back. Alright. If this work properly, that'd be great.
Entire game. And that Pichu is located right by the Pokemon Research Lab, right next to it. So for this one, you can...
Ignore that. I totally wasn't watching a video about shiny hunting earlier. I am surprised that it could actually play that, but that's fine. Alright. Now that we're back into the night, let's do a quick check of everybody that's near. Nope, 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 nope. And a nope. Not a single guy while I was stepping away. That's fine. Let's see here. Any good shiny hunt spots right now? Well, there's this guy, but I'm not doing that because we're done. We're done with that one. Let's check 8. Let's check 8 one more time. 8 is such a pain, though. Wait, where's the last one? So there is supposedly a way to boost getting all of if you can get all the Drillburs to follow you outside, you can boost the number of Drillburs and therefore Gibbles, but you basically have to get all of them to spawn. It's such a pain. Let's go check here. Nope, 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 nope. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna do a one of these hunts for a bit. Let's just let's just make sure. Nope, none of those guys are shiny. So that we can actually see properly, because this is not one that I can actually do without seeing, at least somewhat. But yeah, so while we do run reset, we're just gonna do this until it switches over to day, and then we'll check the we'll check the guys. But yeah, so okay, so we know that for sure that the donuts, so a few things that we know for a fact about the donuts. One is the level boost. We know how that's going to work. It's basically going to be each berry is going to have like a specific level boost, and it's going to have a specific calorie count. And based on what I'm seeing here, so let's see here. So that is 16, 20. Okay. So there are going to be certain things that will boost the multiplier, basically. So what exactly that's going to be, I'm not 100% certain. My guess is that if you use berries of the same type, or you use a certain berries that are complementary, let's say. Let's just assume that it's complementary berries, not necessarily of the same type. So, because the picture that we see that has the times 1.2 on both the level boost and the donut energy, it's 2 Greppa berries and 2 Hyper Greppa berries. To me, that is that's hinting that it's similar type of berries. So like the Greppa berries, based on what I'm seeing, they have a little bit, maybe a tiny bit of sweetness and a tiny bit of freshness, and then it's mostly spicy and sour, leaning specifically towards spicy berries. So if you have all, let's say that all of them are leaning towards spicy, then maybe that will be maybe then you get like a 2 times boost, because I don't think that it's going to be more than a 2 times boost for anything. Because that just seems excessive. Or what it might be is it might be the flavor score. If you get 5 stars in your flavor score, that determines what your boost will be. So maybe like with a standard boost, with like a 0 on the flavor score, you get just a 1 times level. So that means like if let's assume that it's like 4 Greppa berries, which is 2. Yeah, each one boosts it by 2 in each one of those for the levels, and it boosts it by 65 calories. Let's see here. So the standard thing, so the thing that we see for the the Pecha meringue donut, that has 190 calories and a +5 level boost. Let's go ahead and go back to that for a second. So we don't see Pecha berries actually in the list, but to me, I would based on the fact that we do have the Hyper Pecha berry, and we see that that is a 2 level boost and a 100 calories. To me, I'm thinking it could be a 5, or it could be a 1 level boost and probably well, if it's 190, it's kind of hard to tell. But my guess is that it's hard to say. Because another thing that I'm thinking of is that each of the donuts that we're seeing has a specific type of berry, and then it has an addition to it. So, for example, the Pecha meringue, the orange chocolate, the Asper jam, and so on and so forth. So my guess is that just straight up from the Pecha, we're getting 4 levels, and then the meringue adds another, is my guess. So that's gonna be so that's where we're getting the 5. So that's why it would be a level boost of 1, let's say. Are any of you shiny? No, you are not. Okay, we're gonna just keep doing this while we're just gonna keep resetting these guys until while we talk about how I think this donut thing works. So we know that there is a flavor score of 0, which to me, I'm thinking my big thinking is that the flavor score most likely does the boost as well as does a little bit of the flavor power. Right? So my guess is that the Pecha Meringue donut that we see the image of, that is as bare bones as you can possibly get it. So that's why it's 190 calories plus 5 levels and a survey time of 1 minute 58 seconds. Which actually kind of helps us out with figuring out how the calories to survey time works. I can do calculations later. I'm not going to do that right now. So, if we assume, and this is just assuming, so it's probably wrong. So there is a chance that this is wrong. If the Pecha Berries give a +1 to the level boost, and I'm not going to calculate the calories right now because that's complicated. It's less than 65 for sure. Let's say that if that is the case, that means I think there's one of two things that this could be. One is that it's 2 Pecha Berries, and it's like each one of and each berry has like the same things as Kelpsie berry and a honeydew berry and a grappa berry. If that is the case with the Pecha Berry, which I kind of think it's not because Pecha Berries are so common, I think that they would probably be less, actually. So that would mean if it's the same, that means that there are 2 Pecha Berries in this donut, and then probably the meringue adds the one more level and a little bit of calories. If that's a reasonable assumption. I don't think that's a reasonable assumption. I think it's less. I think that Pecha Berry is each 1 boot. It's most likely a single level boost and a calorie of less than 65. Because let's say if it was just 2 Pecha Berries, that would be approximately 130 calories. So, and we need to get up to somehow we need to get to 190. Now, meringue does have a lot of calories in it, so I do think that there is a good possibility that that's where the majority of the calories are coming from. And I think, is that a shiny? I think that is a shiny. It's a shiny. We got a shiny Larvitar. Finally. Oh, that took a while. I have been hunting these guys for a while, but there we go. Oh, and you're ready to evolve, I think, into Pupitar. We're not gonna worry about that right now. But yes. So back to the donut stuff. I'm just gonna keep going. Hey! Ah! Fuck! I can't do that. Ugh. I can't talk while I'm doing this. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep hunting these guys for a little bit because I do want to get some more of those guys. So we're just gonna keep hunting here for a sec. While we talk about this. So, like I was saying, and that's the other thing as well, is that because of the fact that the Hyper Pecha Berry is a +2. I don't see the standard Pecha Berry being even close to that. So it's probably a +1, is my guess. So yeah. So let's say, first off, you select your donuts. You select your flavor. And that's... and then when you hit plus to make your donut, that does all that stuff. And then Ansha, maybe she picks a random topping. And that could be like the first, at first, that's how she handles it. Or filling, whatever. So like the pecha meringue, the orange chocolate, the asper jam, the tomato curry, however you, tomato. I don't know how they're actually expecting you to say that. So all of these different things, she adds the she will choose a filling or a covering, however they're handling it. To me, I'm thinking that it's a covering based on what I'm seeing, because the when we look at the tomato curry and the cherry curry, tomato curry, whatever. So those two, they both have red toppings, and granted, both of those are red. But then we also have the citrus rainbow, and to me, that's kind of thinking that's a other thing. So she may, so like maybe at first she chooses the topping. Maybe later on you get to pick the topping. But before then, my guess is that she will pick the topping. The extra little bit. So she'll choose meringue, she'll choose chocolate, she'll choose jam, she'll choose curry, rainbow, cream, so on and so forth. What exactly the different types are, I think we will have to wait and see. But that will then add a certain level. So whatever the topping is adds a certain number to the level. So let's say that meringue is a +1. So from that we get we can figure out that if that is the case, then that means that pecha berries are each a +1, and then the meringue is a +1. And unfortunately, we don't know exact details with that. Then, when it comes to the calories, those we cannot figure out exactly what that is. But let's say, let's see here. Let me think here. If they were all 60, that would be too high, because three of those donuts is, or if it's 60, then that would be well over calorie count. If it is, I think it needs to be under calorie count is the big thing to figure out exactly what it is. Since we don't know how much the pecha berry gives. And based on the fact that the non-hyper two level boost berries give 65 calories. And the 3 level boosters gives non-pechas give or non-hypers give 70. And we have no way of checking the remaining berries, unfortunately. It's kind of hard to say exactly with hyperberries, but I'm thinking that the pecha berry most likely gives no more than 40 calories. I think that's a reasonable assumption to make. Because that would be, with 4 of those, that would be 160. Which would then give us 30. That would mean that we're getting an extra, an extra 30 for the meringue, which I think is reasonable to assume. I imagine that a lot of the calories actually probably come from the topping that she chooses. based on what I'm seeing, though, yeah, it's hard to say. So yeah. Actually, here, let's look at the statistics in here for the Pechaberry. For a Pechaberry. Okay. So it doesn't even say. Some of these berries actually have like something about like, yeah, this makes them more friendly. Does where's a grappa berry? That's actually a question. So that's friendly, but it also does special defense. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. A lot of this is just like me spitballing here, but yeah, I don't know. So, I guess the big things that are like coming to mind is one, we know that there's going to be hyperberries. How many exactly, we don't know. My guess is that the hyperberries are berries that you can only find in the hyperspace wormholes. The rest of the berries you can probably find everywhere else. Whee! That could have been bad. So, yeah. Those are my immediate thoughts with that. Yeah. My guess is that you can probably, when it comes to the specialty donuts, so Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, the Lotties, the other, anything else that they're going to be doing, because they're probably going to do more. More legendary donuts. My guess is that we will probably need to get a specific or a specific berry, and said berry will then determine what all of the rest of the statistics. Maybe if you get like a full like, let's say maybe it will be like an Omega Berry or some shit like that for Groudon, which I think is a reasonable guess for that. Are you shiny yet? No. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, we still only have 2. Okay. This one's just able, they're just able to fill each of their spots. Okay. That's how it's working. Since there's so few of them, they're able to fill up their spots. Alright. Once we hit night, we're gonna go ahead and go somewhere else. Preferably, I'd like to do 8. But I'm not sure. I don't want to do 8 until I know for a fact that I can actually boost the... I'm not gonna, like, spawn in other things. Specifically, the trash bags. I don't want to spawn in trash bags. But yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking. So yeah, I'm thinking of a few things for sure. One, I think that we're going to be seeing some new trainer. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think that we're going to see some new trainer. I think a lot of people would like to see some. Obviously, we want to see trainers from X and Y. We see Karina. I'd like to see some of the others. Specifically, I want to see the ones that are here in Lumios or who were in Lumios. I'd like to see our rivals would be nice. I would like to see... I think that it would be reasonable to see Diantha and the Elite Four would be nice. Especially Diantha because Ancha. Ancha just feels like she's gotta be Diantha's daughter. Are either of you shiny? No, you are not. I doubt that anything down there is shiny. But we'll check. We'll check after we do this. Okay. Okay, not you. We'll really quickly check you. I am not seeing any of you guys being shiny, so that's fine. Yes, I would have heard if they were shiny. Okay. 8 is not ready for shiny hunting. Unfortunately. We need a new wild zone to go to. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna roll D20. See where we end up. I shit you not. This is actually real. Nat 20. So. Oh my gosh. We're going back to Area 20. We're letting the dice decide this. This is insane. You know what? I think that that'll be a fun way to handle it for a little while. We'll do an area hunt. If it's an area wild zone that I already have everything for, we'll go to the sewers. Because we do actually still need the sewers. The only time that I'm going to specifically choose where we go is if this wild zone becomes a thing, or not wild zone, this battle zone is a thing, or this battle zone is a thing. If this battle zone is a thing, we're going for 8. If this wild zone is a thing, we're going for 12. And I will also mention that if a wild zone has a bench, we'll only do it for about 10 minutes. We'll only do bench resetting for 10 minutes, and then we will go ahead and switch to a different method. Or we'll go somewhere else. I think that's a reasonable way to handle it. Primarily because, like, if we switch from doing if we do here, just for an example, if we get Area 20 again, and I would rather, if we get Area 20 again, I would like to do it as a bench reset over to try and get some water shinies, maybe try to get some grass shinies, but because we've been hunting for the fire shinies for a bit. I mean, what are the chances that we end up getting all of the alphas here at some point soon? We've already gone down to 2. Well, we've already done 2 today. I really hope that we don't get a frickin' Vivillon, though. That would really be annoying. So, yeah. So, what areas do we have everything shiny? I think it's just 2. Well, 2 we still actually need something, so never mind. I think it's just 17. Right? Oh, 17 and 3. But 3 we will actually do a little bit of stuff. That'll be the shortest amount of time that we spend as, at a place, though. Because it would just be a little bit of teleport spam until we get Pikachu. Because I want to get some more Pikachus. So that I can have like a full living dex for those guys, but... Oh, why aren't you yellow? Also, I think it's worth mentioning that if we get 5 or 16, we're going to just do the 5 teleport spam for about 10 minutes and see what we get. But yeah, I don't think anywhere else is... Am I done with anything else? I need a Hippopotas. And I would also like another Shuppet, so it's not like it would be that big of a deal. We need Fennekin. But we also need the frickin' guy. We need most things. 4. No, 4 we... well, 4 is special because if 4 happens, we're going to Lysander Labs. Because the only thing we still need for that one is frickin' the snake, and I'd rather shiny hunt the snake through Lysander Labs than try and do 4. And again, 10 minutes max for a teleport spam. Second there, I thought something was shiny, but no, it's not. I mean, what are the chances that a Dragonite or a Tyranitar end up being shiny here? But yeah, so the rule is going to be one of 3 for how we're going to handle shiny hunting. 1, if it's something like this where we have to run to check, we'll do run checks until it's the new day, until the time switch. If we are bench resetting, teleport spamming, or walking through a door, 10 minutes max, and then we will check every shiny within range, which is actually quite a few for if we get the But yeah. Running, teleport, spam. I think that, yeah, we're going to use 10 minutes for a lot of things. Alright. And then if we get a shiny for a place, we're going to just go to a new zone. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. You're not shiny, are you? It is so freaking hard to tell if it's if a freaking Glaceon is shiny. If that Glaceon stays, I'm checking. Okay, it did not stay. You guys are shiny. Ba-dum 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 bum 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 ba-dum bum. But yeah, I think run checks we'll just keep these as until the chime changes. I should probably also bring up 14. I'm not if 14 ends up happening during a time that it will not get me Helioptile, I'm gonna move it to the next time that we can get Helioptile. Because even though I now have a Helioptile, yeah, it'd be nice to get a second one, especially because of the fact that we do need a Heliolisk as well. The nice thing though is that Helioptile and Heliolisk don't have gender differences, so yay! I think, right? I really hope that I'm not talking out my ass here. Where are you, you stupid thing? There you are. Right? Yeah. No differences. That's good. Also, another thing that I find kind of interesting is that, so far of all the things that we know are getting shinies that are getting Mega Evolutions, even with the leaks that you can get here in ZA currently. So far. We have everything but Garchomp, actually, for anything that's supposed to be getting a new Mega. Technically, I think that we do still need to evolve Meowstic, according to the leaks. And it would be nice to get an extra Lucario and an extra Absol. But I'm not going to worry too much about those guys for now. Absol especially because it's such a challenging since it is challenging to get. Lucario, if it happens, it happens. That's kind of the way that it's going to have to be for now, because otherwise we're going to drive ourselves crazy. Alright. Alright. Since it's nearly time, we're going to do a quick run around. There's got to be something here in Area 20. That's a Chikorita, but it's not shiny. Oddly enough, I have yet to see a shiny Bulbasaur. Which is weird, because it's like one of the easier ones to shiny hunt, alongside Chikorita. I don't think that one's shiny. Right. It would sparkle if it was shiny. Triple check, quadruple check. Okay. Yep, none here in Area 20. Alright, let's do a quick roll. 14! And it is actually daylight, so we will do a Helioptile hunt. But if we get a shiny, we're switching zones. That's going to be the rule. That's the rule. Doesn't matter what shiny it is. We will double check every single one of the Pokemon that is here. If either we switch, we can no longer get Helioptile. So yeah, if we can't get Helioptile anymore, we get a shiny, or anything along those lines. We're checking shinies, and nope, neither one is shiny. That's fine. And we will also check the. I'm not checking the bird or the fish until after we've checked until we either get a shiny or we have to switch. Until we're doing the full check of everything. Oddly enough, really the only things that we need shiny from here are Onix, one more Aeron/Lairon, and yeah, that's it. It would be nice to get another Magikarp, a specific, so we can evolve one of them, but. But yeah, Helioptile, we don't really need to worry too much. While we do want I do want a Helioptile. It's not really that big of a deal. Onix is the big thing. Onix is the really big one we need to get. Because we do need to get a second shiny Onix for a Steelix. I think if you know what, actually, I think what we're gonna do is if one of our if one of our big hunts that we need to deal with in an area is specific to a time of day or a specific weather, I think we will bench reset until it's able to be shiny. But yeah. But yeah, we don't need Lampent, we don't need Klefki, we do need a frickin' so if we get 17, that's the one that we gotta be careful of, because that is one we have literally everything except for frickin' Mawile. You're not pink. You're not sunburned. Check for sunburns. Okay. Doesn't appear like there are any sunburns. Knowing my luck, though, I have a feeling that one of those dirt piles has a shiny in it. If it was one of the closer ones, then it would probably be, we would probably hear it. Even if it was this one, I think. Nope. Fish is not shiny. Let's see here now. Something shiny, something shiny. Fudge. No Helioptiles. Nope. Yeah. I think at this rate that there's a pretty good chance that one of the far holes is shiny. That one might. That one is not, actually. So, we know for a fact that that is not a shiny there, because that's an alpha. And it was not an alpha before. So, if it's alpha multiple times, then we should check it. Which it is not. That one has not been alpha once. At least that I can tell. Granted, there is a chance that the alpha is, you know, it is actually possible for something to be alpha and not be able to tell, but it's at least when it's in a hole. But usually you can tell. Oh. The chances of it being anything but a Drillbur shiny is pretty slim, though. At midday, we are going to go ahead and check them. We're going to fully check it because something it just feels like it's, yeah. This feels too unlucky for it to not, for there to not be any shinies. And also the fact that this one has yet to, oh, we got a few. Okay. That's an Alpha Drillbur. That is also an Alpha Drillbur, but it is not shiny. That's a standard Onyx. That is a standard Drillbur. Well, didn't even get to the frickin' halfway point, half the day. We got a shiny Drillbur. What's this? Just a standard Onyx. Okay. Alright. Let's see where we're going next. Oh, we should check also the, fish. Nope. Bird. Nope. Okay. 19! Oof, that kind of sucks. 19. I mean, granted, we do actually need some. We do actually need quite a few of these guys. But knowing my luck, it's probably gonna be Genghis-Khan. And we're just gonna go until the time resets for this one, because I don't want to be doing this forever. Well, yeah. Yeah, we'll do this until the time resets or we get a shiny. You know, yeah, I think what we'll do for this one, because of the fact that we do need EVs and we need, frickin', these guys, we're gonna do loops. And just listen for the shiny sparkles. I mean, there is a chance that the bird or the rat are gonna be shiny, but I don't know. We need a dog. Or we need EVs. We do not need anything else. We don't need Genghis-Khans. We don't need frickin' Audino, because we have one of those. Well, I mean, if it's an Alpha Audino, that'd be nice, I think. So wait, how many have we gotten so far? 4? Technically 3? Or technically 5? That's pretty good, actually. also need to make sure that we check over there as well, because there is some trash and there is some other small things that are within range when we go over there. You know what, let's just really quick check this. Good. Because that guy is annoying. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't gotten more than one Furfrou shiny. Because I actually do need Furfrou to be shiny at some point. I would like to, because I'm planning to get every single variant of Furfrou and get them all shiny. For a sec there, I thought that Patrat was freaking shiny. There's so many freaking Patrats, and there's so many freaking like, birds. It's insane. You legitimately don't need to hunt them. It's kind of insane. Also, Bellsprout. Like, it took me a while to get Bellsprout shiny, but that's mostly my own dang fault. So wait, in the afternoon, nothing is here? Is that what I'm understanding? Or are we gonna get frickin' Drampa back? Because I was pretty sure that it was just like halfway through the day. Or rather, a quarter of the way through the day, you have Drampa. And so far, it looks like half the day you get frickin' the Alpha Furfrou. And then after that, nothing? Kind of weird. And then at night, you get all three, you get the three, you get Clefairy and Cleffa and all that jazz. Alright. At the second thing, we're going to go ahead and exit from through there and see if we got any shinies. Patrat's not shiny. I doubt the birds. I hope the birds it's not shiny. If the bird ends up being shiny, I don't care. In fact, yeah. If the I'm not gonna check the bird or Patrat because frick them. No EVs. No Farfells. No Genghis Khans. Alright. We're about to hit the timer, so I think we're gonna... I like sections of the Wild Zone where they will just respawn endlessly. Okay. Alright. We're gonna teleport back, and then we're gonna go ahead and do one last check. Because it is officially time. Bop, bop, bop. Nope, nope, nope. No, your blueness. Alright. Let's check the trash, and we will check the, I don't think this trash actually can respawn, but it's always important to check. Alright, Patrats and trash are not shiny. Birds aren't shiny. We'll just quickly check up here. I don't think that these can technically spawn. It'd be nice if the Absol could spawn, but I don't think they can. It'd also be nice to check the Absol anyways. You know what? We're going to actually hang out by the Absol until the time reset, and then we'll roll again. I think right here should be good. That way we can see we can see you. Oh wait, no, actually we should be over here. Now I'm thinking about it because we want these guys. Oh, and we should also check the Dratini. I don't think the Dratini is here though. No, Dratini's not here. Okay, we are in a spot where everything that we care about can spawn. Oh, this is actually a spot where all three monkeys have like a designated spot. Pansage is here, Panpour is over there, and then Panseer is either over there or right here, and they're always there. And it's always those specific ones. But yeah, it looks like they did not spawn. No shinies. That's fine. Alright, let's roll again. 11. Ooh. 11's annoying. But granted, we do actually need some stuff from here. Specifically, we need Inkay and the Claunchers, actually. We also do need some Slowpokes. For a Slowking and a probably a Slowbro as well, because we do have one shiny, but we don't have all of them. Can I teleport, please? So what we'll do, and also Gyarados will be kind of nice, but I'm not going to worry too much about Gyarados. But yeah, Inkay. And the Claunchers. Also, we'll need to check these guys every now and again. I think we're fine, though. I gotta check them all the time. Is there anything over here that we need to worry about? I don't think there is. No. We will need to check the other side at some point, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'll check that. I think even if there is a shiny over there that I can clearly see, which I doubt I will be able to see, actually. In fact, because I'm paranoid, these are the shinies that I need in the middle of the freaking thing. We're gonna go down every time, and we are gonna, so we can spawn in as much as possible. Because we need Inkay, and we need the Inkay, the Claunchers, and we need the Slowpoke line. Are the okay? Yeah, Slowpokes are spawning in. So that's good. I won't be able to see them very well, but that's fine. We just need to listen for a shiny sound. So yeah, if we go down here, I think every single thing should spawn. Even if it's not. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Seriously, with the DLC, give us rideable Pokemon. I don't care how it functions. It needs to be a thing. Because right now, it's genuinely a pain in the ass to get around certain areas. Like this. I need to be able to cross this easier. We need to be able to cross the water easier. But yeah, well, I don't... I think some of the Benaries can spawn. I think some of the, fish can spawn. I don't think that any of the, Barbaricles can spawn, though, on that side. I mean, when we go over there, they will all spawn. I think everything but, like, most of the Barbaricles will spawn. Why are none of you red? Seriously. I don't know what color Inkay is. I know it's not its standard color. I don't think it's yellow. It might be yellow. It might be yellow like frickin' Malamar is. So I think at 11 Pacific time, we are going to go ahead and call the stream. No matter where we are, and we'll just see what happens. I think that that's probably the best option right now. Basically, what we'll do is we'll check what in the area that we're in. And granted, we've got a while before that happens. Still. But yeah. Streamer luck. It sucks. I don't even remember what the last shiny I got on stream was before the yeah. Because I'm pretty sure I got the Dratini afterwards. So I think it was some of these guys, but I don't remember which ones we got yesterday. Or not yesterday, but last week. So, yeah. I don't know. I think that I'm able to get, like, a full box of shinies pretty easily off stream, and then on stream it's like, yeah, good luck. Maybe you can get 4. Because that's what we have so far. Well, technically 5. But, yeah, Semi-Poor spawned before stream. So... I mean, granted, when it comes to this, to shiny hunting, when I'm off stream, I try to do stuff that's a little bit more interesting. Or when I'm on stream, I try to do stuff that's more interesting. When I'm off stream, I will often just do a mindless one, because I know that those are not extremely entertaining to watch. Wait, this is in the correct spot, right? No, it is not. There we go. All right. Man, what are the chances that something is shiny that I somehow missed over here? Somewhere around here. You guys shiny? Nope. Nope. Oh, we might need to check up there too, actually, because I think that there are things that can spawn up there. Oh, Slowpoke! Okay, we're gonna go get that. Slowpoke shiny. Alright. We're just gonna quickly just check the things over here. I don't think that I... Okay, let's go check Slowpoke. Let's go grab that Slowpoke. Flabébés are not shiny. Fish are not shiny. Fish is not shiny. Bunnies are not shiny. I'm so glad they made it easier to check if to see if Slowpoke is shiny. But yeah, I'm not seeing more over here. Alright, we're going to teleport back here to 11. We're going to go on the other side here. I don't think that anything is necessarily gonna be shiny, but nope, nope. I don't hear anything up here. Alright. Alright. So that's 11. No red fish. What? Is there anything up here? That is important. I don't think there is. No, it's just birds anyways. Okay. So, that takes care of 11. Alright. Let's roll again. 7. What was 7? Where's 7? Oh, 7's this one, which we actually do need something from this. We need a hippopotas. So what I think we're going to do then... This might be a little stupid. Is we are going to do bench resets here. So... Let's set a timer... 10 minutes, and we will not do... We will just bench reset until... for 10 minutes. Doesn't matter if things are shiny or not. We'll see what happens. We will catch anything that is shiny when this is done. While we're doing that, though... yeah, let's continue to discuss the... Yeah, let's see here. Okay. I could be wrong, but I think that one of those was shiny. I just glanced. And I think that one of them was shiny. When we come back, if one of those hippopotases is still alpha, then we know it's shiny. That one was. It might be. I didn't hear a sparkle, though, so I don't think it is, actually. But, yeah. So... You know what? Here, let's just check. Let's check things. Nope. Okay. So, I'm wrong. That's fine. Yeah, we'll just keep going. But yeah... So, yeah, that's my. So here's my thinking when it comes to the. I think we went over pretty much everything. Let's see though. Who would we want to see when it comes to if we get new? If we do get new some old trainers that we remember from the past. Who would we want to see? I think the most obvious ones are Clement Bonnie and frickin' Sycamore. So we want to see all three of those. Personally, I'd like to see all 8 gym leaders. We already know we're getting one of them. So if we could get all of them, obviously Clement is would be a second one if we got him. So we would just need the other 6. I think the Elite 4 we might not see them, but maybe Malva. Malva I could see that happening, but it would be it would be unlikely. But I think that Malva could happen. Because we do know that maybe she could come and see Grisham and Grizel. She might come to see the she might come to see Mabel. Any of the Elite 4, or not the Elite 4, the Team Flare people. Let me see here. Do Team Flare. Nah, there we go. Team Flare. Here we go. So, I don't think that we're going to see anyone who is specifically going to look like a grunt, because we already have... Grizel kind of looks like one, and Grisham kind of looks like one. I don't think we're going to be seeing any more of those guys. We have already seen Lysander. I do not expect to see him again. I think he's going to be gone. Malva could show up. I think that would be an interesting situation with her. And then the scientists, which are known as also the admins. So we have Mabel. We do not have... we've seen a picture of Zrosic. Aliana, Byrony, and Celosia. We have not seen any of them for a while. And then we haven't seen Chalmers. Apparently there was... he was an admin. I don't know who he was. Let me actually look at that really quick. Is a butler and former admin of Team Flare and X and Y. Okay, so he was not really that important. He was basically just like a character involved with, he battled you during the, post-game, looks like. And that's it. But yeah, so that's Chalmers. So that's so the Team Flare guy. Okay. And then let's go to Kalos. All right, Kalos. Here we go. This should give me the information about all of the gym leaders and junk. Yeah. So, oh, Viola. Isn't she related to someone important? I feel like she is. Who is she related to? She's related to someone. Alexa? Yeah. She was the journalist. So yeah, so Alexa, we haven't. So we do need to see her as well. I forgot about her. So yeah, Viola, Grant, Ramos, Valerie, Olympia, and Wolfric. I would like to see all of them. Alexa would be interesting to see because she was kind of involved with the story. She was pretty heavily involved actually, because she works for the Limios Press. And she was like really important in the anime. So I'm not gonna go too much into that. And then when it came to the Elite Four, honestly, if the three that are still around just showed up as like, hey, you can face them and that's it, I think that would be reasonable. I could see that Drasna might be dead because she was a bit older. I don't think that she's. I don't think they would actually do that. So I could see, but my point is that I could see her not showing up. But Wickstrom and Siebold, I think that those two could show up pretty easily. Malva, as well as the Team Flare admins, they and the Team Flare people, they may not show up because of the fact that they are. A lot of them might be in jail still. So yeah. But yeah, I completely forgot about her. Like, she was so important in the anime. It was kind of funny. What would also be funny is if they actually brought in some characters from the anime that have only ever been in the anime. Oh, well, there's that. Which is fine, because we do have a shiny there. I can see that. Okay. I think. Oh, I thought you were shiny. I thought you were shiny. You looked shiny from a distance. Nope. Maybe it was just the night spawn version? You guys aren't shiny. Let's check the night spawns. Maybe one of the night spawns is shiny. New. I could have sworn that you were shiny. You stupid bird. Okay, so I guess 7 didn't give us any shinies. We will check really quick to see if there's like anything that's just like just out of range. Like there's a, okay, there's some fish, but they're not shiny. I could have sworn it was a shiny. Let's go around, see if there's anything over here. Oh, there's not even anything spawning over here. Okay. Interesting. I am genuinely shocked that there was no shinies there. Alright. Let's go check another location then. We're going to 10. Which is another bench reset guy. And I think once we've done this one... We'll just... we're going to quickly do a quick double check, though. Because I don't... You guys need to be the shinies. Serious. Alright. So yeah, we'll do the bench reset again. 10 minutes. Come back, see what happens. There's a chance that something will be shining right in front of us, but it's pretty low. And also we might... If the Sharpedo is shiny, I think that we can hear. And, yeah. Okay, so there's that. All right. So, I feel like there were other important trainers. I'm forgetting our rivals right now, but yeah. Maybe X and Y might, if I go to the X and Y spot, that might. Oh yeah. So. Okay. So yeah, I think that this is worth talking about. Okay. So, in terms of the of what we had in terms of transportation when it came to in X and Y, we had roller skates, which everyone loved. Everyone wants those to come back, and there was also a bike, I believe. But yeah, and then there were Skiddo, Mamoswine, and Rhyhorn that were all things that you could ride on for various different situations. Skiddo was in a farm. Mamoswine was when you were going over like some rocky terrain, and same thing goes for Rhyhorn. But Rhyhorn specifically had the Rhyhorn Racers. And I would like to see that be something that they add here in ZA. I just realized I didn't set a timer. We're just going to set it for 7 minutes. I think that's fine. So, yeah. So that was that thing. And then, obviously, Go-Goat and taxi cabs were available here in the city. But why is Go-Goat not available for the city? That's annoying. But, yeah. We had one Sky Battle, kind of, but I feel like we should have more of those. Horde encounters are kind of here, so I'm not going to worry about too much about that. Not going to worry about that. Wait, I'm confused here. That's what it was. Okay. Was there? I thought there was something about it. I thought there was like a specific major trainer that I'm forgetting about. Like, obviously, Karina's grandparents. I think. Oh, that was a thing. But I don't think that really matters too much. Actually, you know what would be what's kind of a detail I want to make sure of? Lumiose City. I don't think there's anything in the game that we did not have in the original. Oh, wait, no. There was the video studio, but we didn't. We don't need to worry about that. And then there were a few other buildings. Let me see here. So there was a video slash photograph thing that they had, which that would have been nice. Here, let me list properly. Okay. You know what? I think we should go to, I want to see if we can find some things in, throughout the city that we just have not seen anything about them in the main. I want to check buildings specifically. Because certain things I'm kind of wondering about. So once we've checked all the shinies here, we're gonna go around the city one last time, and we're gonna see if we can find certain things. Because that's actually kind of an interesting. I'm seeing some interesting details that I'm curious about. Now, obviously, the city has been rebuilt, so that's not too concerning. Okay. This is probably good. I'm gonna cancel that. Alright. Nope. Nope. Those guys aren't shiny. Are you guys shiny? Please, one of you be shiny. Why? Why do you hate me, Tynamo? Why do all these things hate me? Not a single shiny. Okay, so let's start here. So first things first. This is not where it was. Lumio Station is actually up here. Right, that's Cafe Batelier. It's like here. Right here. We'll go here in a sec, but I think that's an interesting detail to be aware of. The Gare de Lumios was not in the original game. Instead, there was an office building here, which I believe would be one of these, actually. Is probably the more accurate one. This was the route, one of the routes. So one of these two places was a route. Exact details, not important. But that is so the cafe was here. Restaurant Lana is still there. But yeah, things are slightly different, so it's kind of hard to say exactly. Or maybe this is the office building that it's talking about. No, this is a gate. I don't know. There's supposed to be an office building somewhere around here. I'm not exactly certain where it was. But yeah, so that's that. So if we then go to Sycamore's lab, for one thing, the buildings are are ever so slightly off. But yeah, so there's Sycamore's lab. Over here, there was a Pokemon Center here. That has been moved to be a. We now have a Blue Pokemon Center, and we have this guy. But there's also a video thing that was like here. My guess as to what it would probably be is this place, because there's all this construction here. It was probably the video place, is my guess. That is still Kofi Eclipse. That's still Cafe Soleil. There was some slight differences. There was an office building across from Shutterbug Cafe, over here, which is no longer there. Cafe Roulon, that's still there. Cafe Galant, still there. Lumios Press, this is over here, as well as the Lotto ID Center. Let's go to here. I think there's probably a sleeping spot here. So, maybe there's a bench here somewhere, isn't there? I could have sworn there was. I could have sworn there was a bench here. And not important. But yeah, the exact placement of where the Lotto ID Center was is kind of uncertain, but it's like somewhere around here. It might be that building over here. Let me see here. I know there's a bench nearby somewhere. I need to switch it today. Let's go here. We know that there's a bench in here. We'll just take care of this one. Okay. As far as I'm aware, it looks like all of the cafes are still there. Okay. So Cafe Galant, as well as there was a Pokemon Center here, but this obviously got moved over here. But across the street, so my guess is one of these buildings is the Lumios Press. I'm betting this is the Lumios Press, I think. Yeah, because I think... Yeah, wait, so slightly different. Let me see here. So, the right side / the bottom of this is Lumios City. Is Lumios. So that's fine. Okay? So we know that. We know that. We also, so this is Press. So this is the Lumios Press, I think. I think that's a reasonable assumption to make. So that must mean that this building most likely is where the Lotto was. Which I'm not really that disappointed that they got rid of it. I don't think anyone is. But yeah, somewhere around here is where that was. Cool. We got that. So that's one place. At some point, I think that they should make this building something that you're actually able to access. Because like I said, this is the Lumios Press. So that's that. Let me see here. That's Cafe Woof. Let's go here, because I think that this is... Okay, so that's this. This is where the old place where you could get your furfro trimmed was at, somewhere around here, give or take. Which I'm thinking probably was this area here. Which is fine. So that's fine. Cafe Classe? Is that what this is? Yes. Boutique Couture. Let me see. Actually, here, let's just go here. That's the hair salon, which is probably Boutique Couture. Wait, one of these is. This is Boutique Couture. That's the Stone Emporium. So, Herboriste? I don't see. So that would probably be somewhere about here, which is fine. Because that's Cafe Wolf. That's Cafe Classe, and then somewhere around here was going to be. So this was the. My guess is that this here was where the furfro place was. That's fine. Cafe Cyclone is there still, so that's good. Right next to Vert Plaza. The Nouveau cafes are all new, so we're not worrying about those. Batelier is here. Trevor lives over here. This is Trevor's house over here. The exact placement, I don't think we can figure out. But that's kind of interesting because this is Town Hall. That's odd. Would Trevor have been... They wouldn't have Trevor be the frickin' mayor. Would they? He's only 16, give or take. Well, 15 actually, I think is what he should be. And he, wait a minute. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do that. That's gotta be. I've got to be wrong about that. I've got to be wrong about that. That Trevor, maybe his father or his mother could be the mayor. Well, no, it has to be his father because it specifically says he. So yeah. But yeah, so Cafe Batelier, that's fine. Let's go here. So, yes, please. Okay. So that is the gate to Route 16, which we're not going to worry about that right now. So somewhere along here was the Battle Institute and the Lumiose Station. That's the Lumiose Station. I'm pretty sure this is Lumiose Station. Here at Area 6. Yeah, this is Lumiose Station. Which is weird. It's really freaking weird that this is Lumiose Station, and yet we don't go here. But yeah, so that's Lumiose Station. Somewhere along here is the Battle Institute, which is no longer here. Cafe Action. Yep, that's still there. Cafe Ultimo. And with Cafe Ultimo is also an office building right across from here. So that's probably it right there. I don't know all the office buildings and which one was which. Hotel Retrisame. The Lumiose Museum. The Rouge Pokemon Center, which was also the northern one. That was Route 14. Somewhere around here is the office building. We're not going to even worry about it. Cafe Triste was here. Okay. So somewhere in 18 was the Galette stand, which we didn't, which we have Galettes everywhere now, so who cares? the vacant storefront, I think that turned into Looker Bureau. So that is still here. That's fine. I believe that was the thing that I'm thinking of. Unless this is something important over here. Which no, it is not. Okay. And then that was the Sushi High Roller. Cafe Luau is over here. Cafe... Huh. They moved Cafe Kizuna up a bit because it was right across from Restaurant Luau before. Okay. That's Restaurant Luau, yeah. Cafe Pokemon Ami, which is still here. Okay, this is a weird. This is weird. This is actually really weird. Okay. So, the last place that we have yet that is kind of confusing. Right here, ish, was the juice shop. Well, no, wait. About here, I would say, because it was before the path to Rouge Plaza. So I think it's just because it's under construction, which there is a shop here. So I think that this is probably supposed to be what the juice what the juice shop turned into. Is my guess. But this was not here. The Bank of Lumiose was not there. But that's but those are some interesting details. But yeah, so the juice shop was there, and now we have the Bank de Lumiose. Or Bank of Kalos, sorry. So, just some interesting details I'm noticing. But yeah, I can't be certain. So they definitely did change some things. That is for sure. And another factor as well that's just like on my mind is that now we have about here is where we can currently change our Furfrow's design. Part of me wonders if that's going to become like a more steadfast spot over time with like an update or something with the DLC. But I don't know. One thing as well that is just immediately coming to my mind is that the only cafes that are new, everything else is most of the cafes are pretty standard. They were ones that were in the game that were in the previous game. The only ones that are new are the 3 Nouveau Cafe trucks. So yeah. So yeah, Nouveau Cafe Truck 2, and Nouveau Cafe Truck 3. Which none of these guys are super important, but yeah. You're not on the shiny, are you? No. Okay. That's fine. That was actually something I should have checked earlier. But, yeah. Anyways, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call it for the day. We did get a good number of shiny. We got technically 6, but really only 5. And 2 of the shiny, well, I guess technically, yeah, 3 of the shinies are actually ones that I actually needed. So, Simipour, Hippowdon, Slowpoke, and Larvitar, which is nice. So at some point soon, I will probably evolve one of my Slowpokes into a Slowbro, and then I'll, or actually, I might trade one back and forth with Jack and get a Slowking, which is gonna be fun. Another thing that I would like to briefly talk about before we go is with the DLC. I think that it is a reasonable assumption to make that we will probably be getting all of our frickin' alternate versions of Pokemon. So we will probably be getting an Alolan Raichu. At some point. I think that is a reasonable assumption to make. I think that we will probably be getting the Galarian Slowbros. Well, the Galarian Slowpokes will probably be somewhere. And yeah, we do know that frickin' whatchamadoodle. We know that we will be getting the fossils are going to become more prevalent, which cool. I happen to get one. This guy's going to be holding a special place for a while. I'm probably going to keep him as a Tyrant, but we'll see. And yeah, hopefully we will be seeing more of these guys get more of the more challenging guys to be slightly easier to get. Specifically, like Drampa would be nice to be easier to get. The Beldum line would be nice to get, be easier to get, and so on and so forth. Also, I would like to know what people think if people think that there is a possibility that with the Ultra Space wormholes that we're getting, or the hyperspace wormholes, the hyperspace stuff, if we think that there will be a shiny, we'll be able to somehow shiny hunt the legendaries. I don't know if that's, I don't think it's very likely, but I think that it's a reasonable question to ask. But this is going to be the last ZAA shiny hunting before the DLC launches in about a week. So next week we will be going through the actual DLC, and I'm going to try and get a proper team set up so that we are ready to go. And we will have a whole bunch of fun as we go through the chaos that is the DLC. Tomorrow is going to be a Throwback Thursday day, so look forward to that. I'm still not 100% certain what we're going to be playing, but whatever it is, I think it's going to be fun. And yeah. Anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on.